Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show. I'm Jason Stockwell.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge.
And we have Stephanie Havel here with Wells Fargo.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Hey.
And we're going to be talking about defense and all kinds of things. But first, I wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Nathan Nelson, Nate Nelson, who is a show sponsor, couldn't be here today. He is been going around the clock, he said, and he's unable to make it today. But if you need a great attorney and if you have any issues with anything, these guys are great. Brett, Nate, those guys are Mesley and Kramer.
Yeah, I've used them a few times. They've been really helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah, Nate is so
very
knowledgeable.
Contract for
cost-effective.
deeds, setting up
Yep.
LLPs, LLCs, mergers, acquisitions, anything to do with either bad tenants or setting up a corporate structure or a waterfall or anything like that. They do all those things. So
And if Nate can't help you, then we have somebody who can.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Our guest on the show today.
Oh yes, exactly. So if you want to take matters into your own hands,
Can be
which
more
you might
proactive.
need more than Nate if you do that sometimes, depending upon the scenario. But so we have Mark here with Atlas Defense, confidence through competence. I like that. Confidence through competence. That's
I like that
Atlas
too. That's
Defense.
good.
So welcome, Mark. Mark goes over all the things we talked about in the or we kind of set you, if you're just joining us, permit to carry, situational awareness, firearm familiarization, protection, and the home, marksmanship, coaching, hunter safety, range, club, special events, and all kinds of things for private, small group training. And we want to hear Mark's story on what got you going in the business and also what you're due with this training and
Sure.
and all that. So
Great. Well, thank you, Jason, Don, and Stephanie, specifically for bringing me on today. I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, I always am happy to go in a little bit of my background and where a lot of this experience is coming from. A lot of it is coming from the Marine Corps. I was in the Marines from 2008 to 2016 here at Fort Snelling in the Twin Cities. I was a military police officer, and when I was in, they like to kick you back through more training and more schools a lot. So I ended up getting retrained with a secondary job as a combat marksmanship coach, and what that meant was just that my secondary job was that I got tasked with training other Marines, other service members, and eventually foreign militaries with firearms training. So
cool.
When I ended up deploying for the first time in 2011, we were tasked with training the Afghan National Police. They're in one of the provinces in Afghanistan, in Uruzgan province, and that was my first deployment, first experience overseas with the Marines and whatnot, and that was kind of where I cut my teeth on situational awareness too, because we had to train the Afghans, but at the same time we had a significant insider threat too, so we had to watch our backs the entire time because, unfortunately, the Taliban. This is a tactic that they still use with ISAF nowadays too. They would slip their people into our classes, into our training camps, and then they would turn their weapons on the service members that were there. So that was kind of where I cut my teeth on situational awareness, and
Yeah.
I figured
Oh my gosh.
if I can, and I figured if I can survive training that, if I can train Afghans, and we've got to work with South African National Defense Force too, a couple years ago. That was really fun. Got to do some joint training with their military. And after those experiences, I'm like, if I can train these people with a massive language barrier, a significant threat going on too, then I should be able to train your average American citizen.
Can
Yeah.
you train the TSA
I wish.
or pilot or airline attendants and
And those are and that's the funny thing with situational awareness is that when I decided to start my business, I was actually overseas for the very last time. Most of 2015, I got into security contracting. So after I got out of the military, I got into security contracting, just standing in static security out there back in Afghanistan. And I had a whole lot of time. I was on a contract for 13 months. So that's where I wrote my entire business plan, and I decided I'm no longer going to be working when I get back home to the United States. Wrote my business plan, got my classes started up for Atlas Defense, and what I really realized was that I am able to feel safe without carrying a weapon all the time. And the reason that is because of applied situational awareness. And I think that it took a little bit of time to be able to really synthesize that, because immediately after the military, a lot of us vets, we try to apply that combat mindset to our civilian world, and that's where you kind of have that transition issue that comes up.
yeah.
I came across that in 2012 when I first got back home, because we would just get dropped back off in Minnesota. But after some reflection, writing, and getting everything ready in 2015, what I realized what the real version, what the civilian side version of that combat mindset is actually situational awareness. And that is a little bit more of a relaxed alert is the way I like to describe it. And that is where you're comfortable with your environment because you're observant of your surroundings. And that's what I teach in my classes, And the situation awareness workshop itself is just a 1 hour class, and what I do is I just get the ball rolling with people and getting people to really be able to open themselves up to their environment. That's how you are able to notice those little anomalies or those things that could be part of a larger pattern in your baseline in an environment. That can be in your office, in your home, in your gym, any other place that you may frequent, like the mall and whatnot too. And that's where my clients have been coming back to me and telling me that's where they're really seeing it being applied, is in those types of
Well, and it's
environments.
such, I mean, gosh, it's unfortunate with everything that's going on right now. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
just, that's why, thank you. I'm so glad you're here today because I'm just, interested as well because I think if more of us in general were aware of situations like this, just when they had the bombing in Manchester, they talk about is things to look for. If you see somebody with like a
literally,
backpack
yeah.
sitting there or, but sometimes too people are afraid, so I don't know if you deal
And
with
that's
that
what
kind
the-
of stuff too, like how to, I don't want to say something or, they do these things on Dateline or 2020 where, they set up a mock where, somebody's, boyfriend, girlfriend situation, they're fighting and somebody's getting abused, do you go in and stop it?
Yeah.
Or do you just keep walking or what do you do? Because you just don't know what can happen. Do you talk about things like that as well? Like,
Yes, and it's and the class, especially when I'm presenting the class, I do the class. I open up to the public for a couple of my of the sessions, and several of the other sessions get booked by employers that want to offer to their employees as like an employee safety and security type of hour. Mm-hmm. And really, what the reason that they do that is because it's meant to supplement and complement like their active shooter training or any other type of employee safety training they've had before, because a lot of the other training that we get as far as like emergency preparation, responding to severe weather or active shooter drills too, all of that is what happens after the bad thing happens. The situation awareness is meant to do is try to help do a little bit of preventative work in noticing those patterns and actually empowering the students to actually say something and really be more critical of their surroundings and think, okay, is this really relevant? If it is, if I really think that it may be, then why not actually take that extra step and just say something? And when I was working at Thomson Reuters, actually out here in Egan too, same thing. I was working on a campus with like 3,000 people, and you'd be surprised how many people would walk right past a bag sitting on a staircase.
so is that
And
some things that you kind of do?
That's
You
like
set
kind of
things
what
up,
I
kind
yeah,
of
and
how
that's
you
what
teach?
the class
Okay.
yeah. And I made sure that the class was not a death by PowerPoint because after 8 years in the military, trust me, I've had plenty of that.
So what would you, so maybe you can share a little bit. So when you do this training, I mean, so if I see I'm at Thomson Reuters or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I'm working at Wells Fargo and I see like, say I'm in the bank and I just see a backpack sitting kind of
Just-
against the wall.
So what I would suggest, in that type of situation, the context is always going to be dictating a lot of what is going on there. And if you just see a bag like that doesn't seem to appear to have any type of owner, and it's in a area that is a little bit more vulnerable too, like a Wells Fargo branch or a bank or anything like that, I'd never hesitate to walk up to the tellers or whoever looks like sometimes there's security guards, at the banks too. And just say, hey, I saw this around the corner. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. And all you did was just give them some information to do their job on. Mm-hmm. And those guys get paid, a decent amount of money just to react to that.
But what if, so your
information.
example, like what if I'm at a, like a business or somewhere like that, like a Thomson Reuters or large,
Oh, if
and
you
I
do
just,
see something?
I see a backpack on the stairwell and people are just hustling and bustling, getting to,
There's no need to
Don't
cause
you turn
alarm.
it into lost.
Yeah, there's
turn it into lost and found.
you want to go touch it? I don't
Go
know.
and pick it up.
there's no need. Yeah, there's
Open
yeah.
it
So
up
I
and see
kind of
what's in
glazed
there.
over
Well,
that.
in the back of the good old days, that's what you do. You pick it up,
Yeah.
turn it
Well,
into
yeah.
the
I mean, I'm
front
just
desk
thinking,
or
like
lost
yesterday, I
and
was
Yeah.
in
I
downtown
wouldn't touch
Minneapolis
it.
at the Wells Fargo campus, and it was great. I mean, that place is hopping. It's buzzing.
Yeah.
Everybody's going, humming, going this and there. So that's what I guess maybe more
I
in
see
that
what you're saying,
situation. I'm the campus. I get off the elevator and I just see a backpack sitting on the corner. I might not think, oh, well, it's just somebody set it down while they went over and talked to a friend. But
Still, do you know your campus security number?
yes,
Then I would say just drop a tip to them. And then I remember, especially working on those larger campuses, there's not always immediately somebody that you can go talk to
Right.
or notify. But there's no reason to cause an alarm or try to block off the entire staircase or anything like that. It's best to let the security people take care of that, and the best way that you can help them do their job is just by notifying them.
okay.
And really, like I said, there's no reason to try to pick it up by yourself. There's no.
Jason. Jason, go, Steffi, go.
had-
Go pick it up. Thanks,
We had
buddy.
guys that would do
Good
that.
Samaritan.
You
Be a
go.
good-
I'll stay back here and watch you go pick it up.
Stephanie, be a good Samaritan, pick it up, turn it into the front
Jeez,
desk.
Jason.
No,
And that's kind of
Hey,
human
what-
nature.
Jason too sends his kids. Okay, kids, you go pick it up. Daddy will stand back here.
And
So I'll
that is-
stand guard. He sends his kids into
It
the
depends
trenches.
on how naughty they've been.
And that is human nature. Like we had the Afghans, they would when they were trying to help us, like the police officers, they were trying to do their job. They thought they were supposed to bring us the IEDs that they found out in town. Where they would walk up to us, same thing, like, oh, I think I found something suspicious, and walk right up to the gate, like, no, leave that where you found it. We'll send somebody out to go take care of it because
Yeah.
again, you can never really account for what is in that suspicious bag. So.
Oh. So do you do anything like with schools at all? I mean, do you teach your classes in schools, colleges, or campuses, or things like that, or?
Yes, I'm actually I'm from Northwest Indiana, and I'm actually putting on a class on June 20th at Valparaiso University. Mostly open to the public, but also open to some of those students there too. I've worked a little bit with Normandale and a few of the other community colleges around here too. Just in putting the class out there because I know that not only for their students, I kind of got connected with them through their criminal justice programs because I'm like, whoa, that seems like the most relevant type of way to get my foot into the door with them. So I started working with criminal justice programs, and as time goes on, I'm putting out more content just with situation awareness there because especially for the freshmen and students that are about to travel overseas or study
Right.
abroad for a whole semester, sometimes they don't do very much preparation. That's what I enjoy doing.
That's great to know.
No preparation. When I went abroad, we had no preparation.
Yeah, you did.
And the situational awareness, I mean, it was non-existent because you're taking in the culture. It's all
And
new.
the teachers are there to protect you.
Usually
or-
you're drinking. I mean, there's partying and
Yeah,
stuff
there's
like that
partying,
going
yeah.
on. So, yeah.
So that's what it's meant to do, yeah.
My friends did anyway. But all right, we'll be back with more. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah,